up, Barefoot Nation? This week I am unboxing a small order from a nursery you probably haven't heard of. All of you fern enthusiasts, buckle up. Let's go!
Alright, so y'all are gonna get to see this right alongside me as I do. But so these are all from a nursery called Fancy Fronds. Okay, so that's actually a really nice plant. So they took the pot off. These are all different types of Harts Tongue Ferns. And so these are really cool because it's a cold hardy evergreen plant that's unfortunately rare. So here you can see the cultivar name. I guess that they popped the pot off for some weird shipping reason. So I have these growing a similar, or the species form at my parents' house, but they looked really good and they were really happy where they were. So my dad actually initially thought that this type of plant was made of plastic when they were in pots, which was kind of funny because he's like, what the heck are you doing with plastic plants? And I was like, it's not. Anyway, so this is number one of the angustifolium, which I'm assuming that's meaning that it has, that means that it has frilly leaves. So I got two different cultivars. Angustifolium is one, and multiples of each. Here's another angustifolium. Again, looking here, the way you can tell that these are really nice plants, is because look at the size of this crown. Now, a lot of times when you get perennials in this size container, which is a 3-inch container, they're just like little plugs. So they're from tissue culture and they're just like a little singular sprout in there. But these, once they get established, are gonna be just go off to the races. So I think what I'm gonna do is pot them up and maybe keep them just for their first winter, I think is what I'm gonna do. But here's number two of the angustifolium. They also had a lot of this paper in here too, which I'm trying not to crinkle just for audio purposes. But the paper was sort of like their cushioning, which is cool. This one feels like it's bare root for some reason. I mean, they're all technically bare root. This is not a sensitive, this is not a Harts Tongue Fern here. This is Diopterus felix moss, which is another beautiful plant. It's upside down, I know. So, I don't know, maybe that's a freebie. That'd be really nice. So yeah, so they included a free plant in this order, which I absolutely love when these sellers do that. But here's the first one of the second cultivar of Harts Tongue Fern. This one has like a wavy leaf margin to it, which I think is absolutely beautiful. And again, these should be mostly evergreen, even here in Zone 6. But they kind of look like bird's nest ferns or like some sort of tropical aquatic plant. And here in Western New York, I have pretty alkaline soils naturally. So these guys are going to be perfect to, I'm going to have these near my concrete patio, which is going to also raise the pH a little bit, but they're also, again, the soil type, once it's amended with plenty of compost, these guys just love it. Next plant here that you can see is another beautiful undulatum. So the wavy leaf Harts Tongue Fern, again, really nice. So again, this is a really decent sized clump. It's a little bit smaller than the angustifolium, the narrow leaf form, as far as like the number of shoots, but again, that's still really good compared to just a normal tissue culture, sort of get them out the door as quickly as possible type grower, which I guess I should be. So like, I shouldn't be too critical about the whole like turning over stock as quickly as possible, because if there's not demand for a plant, then a nursery isn't going to grow it. Nurseries are businesses too. It's just what they sell is living, of course. So the demand for unique plants is definitely something that's gonna, if you don't want to see spirea and burning bush and all sorts of boring plants like that, I think they're boring. They're hella overused just about everywhere that they're hardy. But anyway, if you don't want to see just boring plants and overused plants in your nurseries, then you have to make sure that you're driving that business to, you have to make sure you're incentivizing your local nurseries or businesses in order to have other plants besides ones that they know will sell. And then the last plant here is another Asplenium Scolopendrium angustifolium, the narrow leaf form.
If I could just ask a quick favor of you guys, over 89% of my viewers are not subscribed. So if you want to see more content just like this and keep this channel going, please, if you would, do all the YouTube rigmarole and hit that subscribe button and tap the bell. Back to the video. Alright guys, so done with that camera angle now. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a close-up of all these plants. Including my freebie, which is just awesome. I absolutely love. So I planted some of these Dryopteris Felix moss at my grandmother's house soon after I graduated college, which was in 2015, amazingly. And I have never, so I'm really glad that this plant sort of came back to me, and it's going to be in my garden now. So yeah, so this is where I got these plants. Not sponsored at all, but yeah, I'm like super impressed. Alright guys, so this is my whole order. Again, very reasonably priced, and the other thing that I'm so impressed at is ferns have a tendency to have a not very vigorous root system sometimes, like as far as the fiber roots go and actually holding their root ball together. So ferns have a tendency to not be happy in pots. So I'm really impressed with how happy and like really nicely those roots are being held together. Now that said, you do want to be careful. You do want to be careful not to handle them too much. But again, just super impressed with the different like little descriptions. And then of course, but yeah, so these guys I am very excited to include into my garden. I'm probably going to have a little space that once more of the deciduous plants go dormant, I'm going to have these be kind of front and center. The main thing is that they like moisture and that they like to have good compost-rich soil. And then of course I'm just super stoked about my freebie plant, and couldn't be happier. Not sponsored, but very much so happy to give these guys a plug. But the thing is, you guys are going to have to come back and subscribe to see where these guys get planted, because I'm not going to show you that in this video. Guys, I hope that you learned something. Hopefully now, if you don't have Harts Tongue Ferns, hopefully you want them, because they are truly awesome plants. A little slow growing, but awesome nonetheless. If you like this video, be sure to drop me a big ol' thumbs up, just like that. And down in the comments, let me hear what you thought of this video. I'm curious if there are any other fern enthusiasts out there, and if so, what do you got growing on in your garden? Alright guys, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.